always the best information, it is extremely overinflated, has been for years. The same night that we were presented this budget, we had a presentation by our auditor for the audit report.
Which I'm assuming y'all received.
So the audit report was presented the same night that the proposed budget was presented, and as you know,
Residual amount that is
there's
left.
information out of there that should directly impact that budget. There is currently significant money sitting on the table that our board should be discussing whether it gets sent back
That's the
to,
document that your judge has.
to the taxing entities. That discussion hasn't been had, probably will not be had, and the sad thing is, even if we change the process, it's a lock-in 3-2 vote. My point to you is, the taxpayers and the entities of this county are not being considered as a priority by any stretch of the
So
imagination.
that's the total that we have left. So if you look under real.
And after watching
that's your
you
percentage.
for almost 4 hours rub nickels together, and I'm sitting here thinking, this money would pay for that, this money would pay for that, this money would pay for that, it's killing my soul.
Cause y'all are rubbing two nickels together out here to make a dime, and we're looking at,
The district that I was superintendent of was one of the first 90 districts in the state of Texas to be considered a Robin Hood district. So I have been through the process for over 20 years, cutting that budget consistently and dealing with unfunded mandates. I know the process, I know how it's done, I know what it should look like, and it should look like exactly what you guys did today. Your departments do their work, they present to you, you ask the hard questions. We can't even get copies of documents that we need
not do that.
to make
You don't have a choice, it's an open meeting.
decisions. We ask questions.
Thank you, ma'am.
They were never answered, and so you need to know that. We're doing the best we can. I wish I could tell you that if you don't adopt it, and that if they send you another one, it will be slightly adjusted, it will not be anywhere what it needs to be, that it would change, but it's not. Because whatever they do, and whoever does it, yet to be determined, is gonna get a 3-2 vote. And the entities are gonna get screwed.
Are they working towards a building, buying a building? Have you all discussed that? Well, just because I know.
They don't know.
No, they're not. No,
We got sued, we don't
So-
know.
we don't
And the
know.
only reason I was asking is, I mean, I know they're paying rent. And when I first
Judge,
became
The
judge.
kind of
when I first-
questions that you're asking
Mhm.
are the kind of questions that need to be asked and discussed. But there are some that are so basic that we haven't even had those.
And we used to get refunds, and I'm not opposed in them keeping some money in a fund balance to work towards
Absolutely.
purchasing a building.
But there are
because
two
they're
ways to look at
renting.
that too.
Uh,
There's obviously money that could go back
mhm.
to the entities.
And they
Sure.
used to send some back.
Right,
They did.
very
Not
little.
very often.
Not very often, and very
Twice
little.
since I've been judge.
But if you look on there right now, there's over $222,000 less the interest that's accrued.
Yeah, we.
Typically, general practice is you keep that and send the other back. Now, I'm telling you as a former superintendent, and I know enough about a small school district, $100,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
They have people that represent them on the RCAD that's not even protecting their own entities. I don't understand it. I don't know who has the lock on what's going on, but there's a lot of smoke in my opinion. So, when you're talking about that, there's two ways to look at that. Yes, we could send you some money back. That would help you now. But the bigger money saving is in getting this budget down to what it needs to be. We think, based on what little we know, that it would be easy to cut this budget by a couple $100,000.
They've double lapped to where that they've got the interim chief appraiser salary and a chief appraiser salary. So our opinion is, as y'all all have your own, but our opinion is you don't need two. You can either lap over for a month or maybe two when the new person comes in, but you do not need to budget for two chief appraisers.
I thought that's where the 48,000 came from, the decrease, that was taken out.
I think it's.
Okay, remember last year when you adopted that budget, how many employees did we have?
6.
We had 6. we're down to 2 employees and 1 contract
No,
person.
Yeah.
It doesn't, you don't need to know numbers. We're from 6 to 2, and this budget is not that different from what it was last year. So, but, and I feel sorry for these ladies that have begged for a half person. I just recently saw pay memos that were written on the very last day of the previous tax assessor, chief appraiser, sorry, 15 days after he was on site recommending significant salary increases for 2 of the employees. I could not tell you who approved those, who implemented those, because nobody knew about it until recently. That's serious in my opinion. These ladies deserve to write a memo for their own salary increase. They work hard, I've gotten to know them. But that's the kind of things that's going on, that's inflating this budget significantly. I don't know for sure, but I would venture to guess that the people, the ladies that run that office that do not have stellar reputations are making more money than these ladies are making. They would not even let my wife in the building to deliver a check from the ESD. Met her at the door, would not let her ring.
So our point today is, not only is the budget inflated, we've made as many changes as we possibly can. Now, of course, when we took, the votes and the positions that we are on, the RCAD, we now, of course, work for all 10 entities, right? Not just the county, we work for all 10 entities. And so with that being said, most of the stuff that we've seen is just ridiculous. It is, we feel like we've made some headway, and we have, but we're bucking up against that 3-2 vote.
But we feel like we know that these other 10 entities are doing what you're doing. They're trying to rub nickels together to get money. And this situation's overinflated, and it's connected to all 10 of those. It just saddens me that you have to go through that. I'm not saying that this is gonna solve your problems, but it's not gonna hurt.
We need to reach out to our